inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com.
Today's Daily Encouragement by William the Encourager, sponsored by Ted Russell Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty on Kingston Pike.
Praise the Lord, my brothers and sisters. It is Thursday, and you know what? I'm just praying. I'm praying for you, and I hope you're praying for me. Let's lift up our families, our loved ones, our neighbors, our mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, husbands and wives, nieces and nephews, cousins and uncles and aunts. Praise ye the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Lord, we thank you today. And we lift up that name of Jesus. And Lord, we plead the blood today over our family, our home. We plead the blood over our lives, over our jobs, over our co-workers. Lord, we plead the blood over the president. We plead the blood, Lord God, over this nation, dear Lord. And we are so careful to give you glory, honor, and praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen. As we have been talking about guidance, Luke 1:79 talks about divine illumination. Luke 1:79 says to give light to them that sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet unto the way of peace. Everybody loves peace, but you got to remember, peace is found in Jesus Christ. He guides our feet to peace. Don't you know that without him we can do nothing? Praise God, nothing. Psalms 119 Psalms 19, 8 through 11 says, the orders of the Lord are right. They make people happy. The commandments of the Lord are pure. They light up the way. Respect for the Lord is good. It will last forever. The judgments of the Lord are true. They are completely right. They are worth more than gold, even the purest gold. They are sweeter than honey, even the finest honey. By them your servant is warned. Keeping them brings great reward. You want great rewards today, my brothers and sisters? Keep God's word. Keep God's commandments. Do you know that there are precious promises that is associated with God's word? And all you have to do is seek him. If you seek him, as Psalms 143:10 says, teach me to do thy will, for thou art my God. Thy spirit is good. Lead me into the land of uprightness. My brothers and sisters, seek him. If you're tired of going around and around in a circle, you know that old adage, you know, the definition of ignorance is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. Well, when you find Jesus, you can't do it by yourself. He can find you in the darkest place. He can find you in the middle of a hornet's nest. He can find you in your trouble, in your sadness, in your sickness. He can find you. You know why? Because he loves you. He loves you so much, and he is willing to come to you and to do what it is that he needs to do to bring you out of that mess. And he leads you into all truth. John 16:13 said, howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. You can be free. And God will show you that. Why? Because he loves you. And he wants to take the shackles off your feet and your hands. Why? Because there's a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Roane, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome into our Thursday edition of Ask Your Neighbor. David West, stars and stories of the Kaz Walker Show. David, the boys made it in this morning through the freezing cold. What was the temperature up around your neck of the woods this morning?
Oh, Schuylerville?
Yeah.
13 below zero.
Oh, Lord.
I thought I'd get your attention.
That got my attention.
Tell you the truth, I don't know. It was cold. It was in the 20s.
It was 9 this morning when I got in the truck to come
Well, I
up
did
here.
get up early, Judy.
9. It was 13 up till just this is 18 now, 19
It's
now.
in the like early, like 21 or something. Oh, but that's on the porch.
Yeah. On the way over here is 23, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, still too cold.
Warm in here, though.
That's right. That's all that
Nice,
matters.
comfortable in here. How's everybody doing? Didn't see you last
We're
week?
doing good. Barney's back on job day.
How are you? Sam Sawyer?
Running ragged, man. Just running ragged, but missed you last couple of weeks. And Howard's been sick. We got to get him back. He's 3 weeks. He's been sick for about 3 weeks, hasn't he? Yeah, we
He
got
was coming today, but he said, I'm afraid to get out there.
yeah, it's cold and miserable. Yeah, it was a balmy 68 degrees in my house when I got up this morning, so it wasn't too bad. No.
68 degrees. Normally, you get in the summertime, 68 degrees is cold. You know what I mean? It's in the wintertime, though, it's warm. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's the same temperature, just different because of the season.
If you got a thermostat, we usually keep ours on about 67 or 68 and wear sweatshirts and sweatpants and blankets sitting around the house.
That's me.
Summer, it's, 70.
I've got mine about 70.
Yeah. I mean, it's during the night I get cold and hot, and so it don't matter.
At night, I got to turn mine down to about 60. I'm a hot-natured person. I start sweating, yeah.
Something wrong with you, brother.
Right?
That's
the truth.
Sleep out in the yard, brother.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah, me too, brother. Me too.
Well, it's good everybody made it up here in the cold. There's no ice. They got all the roads cleared off up through here. City of Clinton does a good job. They always clean our hill, make sure we can get up here. Spring Street's not always it's not always as easy to clean, but the hill they usually get taken care
I'd
of.
like to own a car wash, because after this, man, I mean, they're lining out the lazoos to get to the car wash.
You got salt and stuff up
Well, it's
on
terrible. They got enough brine over there in Knoxville and where I've been, Knoxville and Sevier County this week, and I'm going to tell you, it had enough brine on there. No wonder we're going to have potholes everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
We already started.
Yeah,
There's some you could bury a dog in right now.
Yep.
And,
How big a dog?
a pretty big dog.
Couldn't do a
I don't know how many.
thing.
I don't know how
Big
many
enough to
claims
bust
they've
your
got.
tire.
You want to do a PSA for these people, public service announcement for you lay people. For those, if you can submit them to TDOT, but if you bust your tire, I had 2 get busted last year.
Me too.
Yeah, right over there off of 40 near Rutledge Pike, and there's some big ones out there, and if you hit them, they may not pay it, but you can submit them, and there's a way to do it. Go to TDOT.
That's interesting.
I believe I got mine right there coming off 640 under
That's
40.
it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Right there,
Same
Rutledge
spot.
Pike. There was one. I'm gonna tell you, you could have buried 2 dogs in on that one.
Yes, sir.
And them.
You know what always worries me about that is I ride a motorcycle.
Oh gosh.
That'd kill you.
It would flip you.
It'd kill you dead.
It would flip you. You can't really see them. You come up on them.
If you're riding at night, especially if you're riding, I can't tell you the last time I rode at night. I might have rode at dusk this summer, but just not at night. At least not at somewhere I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you're riding at night like that, sometime there's a place like that in the road, it'd kill you if you hit it.
What kind
Seriously.
of bike you ride?
Motorcycles ain't forgiven.
What kind of bike you
I've
ride?
got a Honda Shadow.
Oh, nice.
yeah. I've had a bike since I got one for my 8th birthday, and I've had one ever since.
Oh, did you have a Honda 70?
My first one was made by Kawasaki, but it was called a Kami, Kami 80.
Really?
And I broke the frame on it, jumping. And
Evil Knievel.
Yep. So Dad took and they welded the frame back. I broke it again. And so they took and traded that one. They welded it back, and then we took and traded that one and got me a Honda SL70.
Yeah.
And I kept that for decades.
Those were
I
popular.
did. I rode that bike. I rode the bike till I was too big to ride it. So probably about sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
And I got me a XL 175, rode that.
Good.
And then Dad gave me his 750.
Was the 175 an Enduro?
I don't think it was. No, it was a street and trail. It was a street and trail. And then Dad gave me his, well, he didn't give it to me. I kind of just commandeered it. But his old 70, he had a 1975 orange metal flake Honda 754. You remember those?
Remember well.
I commandeered that and rode that for a while. And then bought myself, bought myself a 1981 550, Honda 550, kept that forever. And then Dad bought his, he's got the Shadow that I have now was his. He bought that in 2006, I think, and rode it till just a few years ago. And then he decided he didn't want to ride no more, and he gave it to me. And I took it up to Barry's and had him custom paint it. So
nice.
It's a sharp-looking bike.
That orange metal flake was probably the most popular color. There was a blue, an aqua
I remember
blue.
blue. Yeah, it's pretty too.
But one of my work, I had an aqua blue. About that color, it's a Suzuki 350. I was working at Reader Motor Company down here in Oak Ridge, and I kept it out in a little storage building. Daddy had a little tin building. You can imagine, a little tin building with junk in it. But I kept my motorcycle in there, and I always kept my helmet up on the handlebar mirror. So I was going to work, and I was leaving up here at Peach Orchard, heading down 61 to go to Oak Ridge. And before I did that, I got off, I rode it. You walk your bike out. I reached up there, put my helmet on, and I don't know what kind of snake it was coiled in my helmet.
Oh, man.
Oh, buddy, I threw that helmet, my bike fell, and I finally got enough nerve to put it on and
check it out.
I'm down 61 by the river here, and I'm thinking, that thing's probably laid eggs in there, and I'm going to have maybe snake eggs.
Snake eggs.
Coming out of your ears.
Yeah, but I laid mine down once, and I got rid of mine after I laid it down. I hit some loose gravel, and I got rid of mine.
Oh, I've got scars from head to toe. I've laid them down. I've never had a bad wreck on the road or on the interstate, but in our subdivision, when we moved in back in 74, there was only 2 houses in there. There's about 400 now, back where Mom and Dad lived. So they had cut all the roads. They just hadn't put any houses in. So I had paved roads, and then I had dirt roads. I mean, I had miles and miles of places to ride with nothing around. But I was coming down one of the paved roads, and it's a T, and our house set right on the other side, so I could go straight across the road, 3-way stop. My driveway was kind of made it a 4-way stop, so I could just zoom across the road, straight in the driveway. And I was flying down through there one day, getting ready to cross the road, and out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw a car, coming. And there was never any traffic, and I hit the brakes, and there was some gravel there. You know how gravel pile up right in the middle where you turn left or right?
That's what I did.
I hit that with the front brake on, laid the bike down, and me and the bike and everything else slid across the asphalt into the yard, across the driveway, and I was skint everywhere.
Yeah,
That's probably the worst one. That's probably the worst one I had. I've had a few jumping bikes and stuff like that. I knocked the back window out of my dad's Volkswagen. He about killed me because I put a board up on it. I put some plywood up on it. It made me a jump. When I hit the jump, busted the back window out of the thing.
Gosh.
When he got home, he was like, "What happened?" I was like, "I don't know." It had a big dent in it.
Somebody broke him, didn't they?
Yeah, I have no idea. Somebody must have come back and was like, "It wasn't like that this morning." I have no idea. He figured it out pretty quick.
Anderson County did, when I was growing up, Anderson County did a thing called motorcycle safety at the schools.
Yeah.
For 7th to 8th graders, I think it was, and I took that. And later on, David's buddy, my father-in-law, who we kept soup day for several years, he had a heart attack in 2007 and had a wild hair. He used to ride Harleys years ago, and so he got a wild hair after he was recovering from that. He wanted a motorcycle, and he wasn't able to ride a motorcycle, and so he wanted to get a V-Star, the Yamaha V-Star.
Oh, they're pretty bikes.
They're heavy.
Big bikes, yeah.
And I said, there's no way you can have it. But I didn't want to break his spirit. I took him over to Clinton Highway there, and I got the salesman kind of the side where Doyle didn't notice it. I said, hey, got to discourage him from doing that. So he said, he was telling him about it, and he said, I'll tell you what you ought to do. He said, I'll take care of it for you. He said, I'll tell you what you ought to do, Mr. Patton. There's a motorcycle school. If you go to that, it's a couple of days long, do it out at Carnes High School. You do that, and you can kind of see if you feel like it before you buy one, see if you might want to still be able to ride. He said, okay. So he said, sign us both up. I still have my motorcycle's license because of this. I went over there, and within the first few minutes, they one laid down on him. He couldn't do it. So I finished that school and got my motorcycle. I ain't had a bike and since the early 80s, early mid-80s.
You still got your license?
I still have my license. I can hop on one right now and ride it, I guess.
Well, I got you one, Barney.
No, I ain't getting one. I get one sidecar.
I got mine when I was 8 years old, like I said, and I've had one every day since. And I was riding one day. I was out on that 1980 CS 500. I was tooling around. I was having a good time and going across the dam.
Yeah.
And there was a license stop. Police check,
No.
It's fine. I was like, doo-doo-doo. I roll up, and I'm talking to the guys, and, it was a state trooper. And I happened to know. In fact, I think it was Dormus Miller. I can't remember, but somebody I knew. I knew him. So I was talking to him. And, what are you doing, Ron? I'm just out riding my bike, blah, blah, blah. I said, Ron, can you pull over here for just a second? I said, oh, yeah, why? He said, I'll just come over here and I'll talk to you. Pull over there, and he goes, you don't have a motorcycle stamp on your license. I said, I've been riding for 30 years. I mean, at that time I had, I reckon, maybe longer. He goes, well, then you've been riding illegal for 30 years because you're supposed to have a stamp. So they wrote me a ticket, and they said, Scott Manning was a sheriff, and I remember he said, just call Scott and they'll get it taken care of, but I got to write you a ticket. I said, okay. And so I did. I called him. He said, yeah, sport, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it, I just let it go. And a few months later, a number of months later, Barry Pellizzari calls me, and he says, hey, Ron, I need you to come down here. I've got a warrant for your arrest down here where you ain't paid your ticket. I was like, what? So I went down there and paid my fines and fees and went and got my driver's license for my motorcycle.
You call Scott and goes, hey, thanks.
No, actually, I did call him, but he blamed it on Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood blamed it on Scott, and Scott blamed it on Hollywood.
That
So
sounds about
Mark
right.
Oiley.
Sounds like
But they ended up getting it all fixed up. I paid. I said, well, I don't mind. I don't care to pay the ticket. I didn't have a driver. I just didn't think about it. It never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
I knew you're supposed to have one, I guess.
Let's see, this first 20 minutes has been sponsored by the Knoxville Harley-Davidson.
Yeah, really. We need a motorcycle. I need a motorcycle dealer on the air. That's what I
I'll
need.
tell you what, I need to talk to the Browns. They fixed me up one time. We was talking about the sidecar. I used to do a ride every year. It's called Support the Troops, and they would. So they said, and I took my squad car out there to the airport. 400 or 500 bikers. We took them back to Knoxville Harley-Davidson, and so one year they called me Dal Brown is the owner of it, and David called me David Brown, the son that owns the Harley-Davidson and the Yamaha shops.
Mm-hmm.
He called me and he said, hey, we got an idea this year. Instead of bringing the squad car, we've got a motorcycle with a sidecar. We want you to ride in the sidecar. So, I'm going to tell you, that was the roughest ride. I didn't realize, because you're low to the ground.
Beat you to death.
And I left from Level Road to the airport. It beat me to death, man. But it was fun. They was always good to me, though. Good people. But,
Yep, there you go. Our motorcycle stuff, there you go.
there you go. Call with any questions and address them to Ron.
Please.
I was telling David about, I had supper the other night with Graylin's mom and daddy.
Yeah.
And I was going to go to Nashville last night, and because this weather, we didn't go, but he was playing in Nashville. He's opening for, I just went blank. Oh, my goodness. Amanda Cook, probably player on Merle. Anyway, but he's doing good. He's got a new song out. He did a video where he introduced it to his mama, and on social media, and he's had over 4 million hits on it.
I saw that.
So he's doing well. He's
fixing to go, ain't he?
Yeah, he's well on his way, but he went to he was in Nashville last night playing. He's been all over the country touring, and he's doing well. We got to get him back over here one day, and Jeff and Donna was both excited to keep me updated on what he's doing.
He's doing well. In fact, I was loading music. We're putting some new music in from Merle, and I was doing it last night. And I was just going, one of the cuts, I'm putting in an old Kenny Chesney cut back where I come from, and we're adding it. And I was looking, and it had all the site where you go to download the music. It had 27 of Kenny's albums on there, and one of them was Happy Does.
Yeah.
And boom, I mean, there it is, the album, it's the name of the album, and then Graylin wrote it. Graylin wrote that, or co-wrote it anyways. I thought, man, why? You have your song on much less have somebody record it, but have it be the album track, the cut track, title track. Pretty cotton picking cool.
So Barney, you say was big, ain't it?
Big, real big.
Yeah. He's doing good. Did you put any Zach Top in?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did. I put in, hang on, I'll tell you.
Never Lie or Sounds Like the Radio or two.
Hang on, I'll tell you. I'll find it here. I'll find it directly and tell you. I put in Sounds Like the Radio, Zach Top.
That's a great song. He's gonna
starts tomorrow.
He's gonna be. My son and his wife are gonna be over to Ryman this Friday night.
Okay.
To see him. He's there Friday and Saturday night, but he's fixing to hit the road and do some shows with Alan Jackson, and after that he's with Dierks Bentley for several shows.
Big time.
He's been opening for Lainey Wilson.
That's great.
And he's doing great. His kid is great. He's a picker, man. He said he grew up, his heroes was he wanted to pick like Tony Rice, who's okay, and wanted to sing like Keith Whitley. And I'm gonna tell you, he's
knocked
good.
it out of the park.
Yeah, the video y'all got to pull up sometime on Zach Top is the video of him. They're laying claim that his daddy's Alan Jackson, and it's funny, but he's really good. He's really good. But he grew up bluegrass, and he does a little set there in part of his show. So if you get a chance, I think he's going to be in Nashville, Chattanooga, in this area in the next couple of months. But that's it. He's not going to be in Knoxville.
It's radio no. We're not supposed to do what I'm getting ready to do, but we're making changes over on Merle. Normally you make the changes and let them kind of seep in. You don't tell people, but we're making a big change and adding a bunch of the stuff like Zach and some of that, going with a not way more.
Yeah.
But definitely more of a real country feel. Still going to do the new stuff like we do, but giving it more of a, I don't know, true country.
Have you heard the song Sounds Like the Radio?
Yeah, I put it in yesterday. It's fantastic.
It's a great song because it ties into kind of the 90s music, but I'm telling you, he can go way back than that. He does oh my gosh, Jimmy Martin. What's a big song of Jimmy Martin's? He covers Freeborn Man. He does Freeborn Man great.
Really?
And he does it in his show. And he covers it well. And he grew up singing bluegrass, his family and some friends growing up. But in fact, he may text here in just a little bit, but Jimbo Whaley's son, Turner Whaley's really good singer. And he met Zach at Spigma a while back. And he's talking about how good a guy he is, and he seems to be genuinely a good guy. But he said, he's not only a good singer, he's a picker, man. He can wear out a guitar.
Well,
I don't know what model Martin he's got, but man, he can make it sing. And he's good. I mean, you could probably pick it to death and tell me what he's
You're
doing.
retired. I'm not done listening.
You're not retired. We rehired you. You can't retire.
I'm retired. I got Dustin, and he does all of my heavy stuff.
That's right.
All the heavy lifting.
And I don't have any light stuff anymore.
I was going to say you can pitch me that light stuff, but if you ain't got none, that's okay.
I'm going to do it. Can I jump back? I'm going to do a motorcycle story.
You got a motorcycle story?
Yeah. I got a couple.
I bet you do.
I
The
bet.
first one I ever rode on was really young, and this guy had a paper route. And he had it wasn't just like a bicycle, it was a motorbike, he called it, but it was bigger, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd help me do some paper, deliver some papers. He said, here, get on this thing and ride. I could ride it. But he had a wrench about 12 inches long in the basket, and that thing fell down through there and went through the spokes.
Oh,
I thought it was going to kill me. Hit my legs. He was hollering, he was laying there trying to run, and he said, get it up and get gas no more. I said, I need somebody to get me in. Here's one, this really happened more than two. That hadn't really happened too, but coming down Clinton Highway, this motorcycle, side swap, him and the car run together some way. And up at the upper end of Ciderville, the very upper end, plumb to where you turn up the driveway, that thing fell over. And when it fell over, he just stepped up on the side of it and laid down it. But he was probably pretty good at it. He rode it from the upper end of Ciderville. That's a long way down, but
laying on its side.
It's too much laying on its side. He rode it plumb on its side, and I thought sure he was going to kill himself. You know, he went by me. He was holding on to one handlebar and that thing.
Riding it like skiing.
He said, Daddy, when they hit that course, I jerked my leg back, and I did, that thing fell over, and I just got on the side and rode it flat, just flat on its side. Didn't even hurt him.
That's a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Yeah, he's surfing.
That's once in a lifetime.
Yeah,
You ride a motorcycle, you realize real quick it's not, you don't have to worry about you so much. It's the people who can't see you.
Oh, yeah.
That's for sure.
But now I do. There's some pretty aggressive people that ride bikes that need to tone it down a little bit going in and out of traffic, and you know.
I've done that a time or two.
Well, I know, and you're
I think we
quick
all
to
have.
do it. I didn't.
I got on that.
I didn't.
I got on that 550 one day, and I started at the 132 exit, and it had they called it cruise control, but it had you could lock the throttle.
Yeah.
I come off the exit, and I locked the throttle wide open, and I held it wide open until I got to Campbell County exit.
Oh, jeez.
I have no idea how fast I was going. It only registered 80, but it was laying
Oh, yeah. You tagged it, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, and I could lay down, and you could feel it get faster. You know what I mean? And when you pull up, it feel like it's going to pull you off the bike. I thought, I'm going to see how long I can keep this wide. There wasn't a lot of traffic, thank the good Lord. But I said, I'll see how long I can keep this thing wide open. I probably burnt half a tank of gas between here and there, but I ran it wide open from one exit to the other.
Can I tell one more? You know when you're foolish and when you're dating. So I was on a Wednesday night church service. I lived in Peach Orchard, and I rode my bike all the way over to Knoxville to the church where my wife now, but we was dating. And so after church, I wanted to sit in court and talk to her and stuff. So a couple of my buddies wanted to ride my bike around. And I said, yeah, go ahead, just take it and ride. So they were gone. Time got away from me. They'd been riding my bike. So I got on the interstate to head back to Norris or Clinton here. And I got to, before I get to Emory Road, and it sputtered on me. So I just reached down there and hit reserve. And I got to the top of Emory Road before you get to going to Raccoon Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Died. So I let her roll all the way to the bottom of that hill. Do you know how heavy a motorcycle is? Just dead weight, pushed it for about 2 miles to the Raccoon Valley truck stop to get gas. And
I've not pushed them 2 miles, but I've pushed them.
I pushed it to, I don't know, it probably wasn't 2 miles, but it's at the bottom where I rode as far as I could to the bottom of that hill, and then when it leveled off, I walked and pushed that thing all the way up there to the exit ramp at Raccoon Valley. Back then, it was just the truck stop was sitting there. And I pulled in there, man. I was so glad they was open. Got me $1's worth of gas. I think it's all I had, $1.
Right, last year week in a motorcycle.
Yeah, but it was don't run out of gas on a motorcycle. That's a tough one. Yeah.
Or riding the rain.
Yeah. I told one of my boys, we was talking about something about running out of gas, and I said, yeah. I said, my dad was notorious for, you get in a vehicle and it'd be down on the E. Mm-hmm. But I always kept gas pretty much, but I learned a good lesson one time. I was leaving a Sunday afternoon heading back to Anderson County, and I got right before I was going to try to make it to Merchants Road there. Y'all know where Merchants Road is? That exit to get some gas, and there was a hitchhiker standing there thumbing. I thought, he was rough looking. I just went on by him and ran out of gas right when I passed him. I didn't make it to the exit. That old fella, he come running up to the car, and I thought, good night. And he come up there, and he said, hey, man, I appreciate you stopping by. I said, well, actually, I'm out of gas. I said, but I'll tell you what I'll do. And I said, I got to walk up here and get some gas, and I'll give you a ride up here to the North Clinton exit. He was wanting to go to Lexington. And I said, I'll buy you a hot dog. He was hungry. So I thought, man, whatever you do, make sure you got enough gas if you go by a hitchhiker.
Get past the hitchhiker.
I tell you what, this old boy, this one I heard, and that probably wasn't true.
Well, now don't ruin it.
But anyhow, this boy said, this man was telling me one time we talked about motorcycles. He said, yeah, said, this cop, deputy sheriff of mine, said he come in one day and said he just threw his badge down and said, I quit. He said, what happened? He said, I was going down the road and said, this boy was riding a motorcycle, one small one, on my back top, and said, he was pushing it, and I said, I had to get through that. Said, I told him, said, let me just hook you up on this rope to the patrol car until I'll just pull you into town there. Said he got up on it and said, we was going so good that I forgot about him too. We got in town and I just went, the lights was all green. I went on the phone and he said, I just forgot all about him. He said, I was doing it 70 mile an hour out through there. And said, before he got on, I gave him a whistle. Said, now if I get too fast, you said, you blow that whistle. He said, I kept hearing the whistle blowing. He said, you know what that boy's doing? He said, he was pedaling that bicycle, blowing that whistle, want me to get over so he could pass.
That's good. Oh, yeah, that's rough.
That's pretty good about my dad on the motorcycle. One time I was riding with him. It was late at night. I was young. And we went, it was probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. We had passed Zotterville, and he was speeding a little bit, and we passed a cop, and the cop had turned around on behind him, so he then turned up Turkey Road, and then went down by David's house by the lane, you know, so he turned his bike off. We were sitting there, and then so we waited a few minutes. We went back out. We were going to your lake house to camp, David.
Yeah.
And then so we went back out that Turkey Lane and took a left on Mahaffey. Well, the police had went to turn around somebody's yard and they got stuck in the yard. So my dad just beeps the horn and waves, and we keep on going by.
That's tough. I feel for that cop.
Right? You know he was aggravated.
That sounds like a real Barney moment.
That does sound like a Barney moment, doesn't it?
Aunt B had the whole solution. You remember? She said, I saw in a German war movie one time, they took a wire and they stuck it across there, and the motorcycle come through and just went like that. We don't want to kill him.
Decapitate him.
Yeah, that's it.
David was talking earlier before we went on there. We're going to have soup day again?
Soup day? No, what we're going to do is...
soup commemoration.
We'll have an anniversary day. I think it's in March. Soup day anniversary. And we're going to invite everybody. I'll tell them about it on radio. We'll get everybody we can to come over and have soup with us. It's going to be an anniversary soup day.
That'd be good.
And we got 2 or 3 people going to make soup. You know, Faye's passed on and Elmer's passed on, but Anthony said his wife would make it. And we got 2 or 3 people who make soup. Maybe Karen, different ones will make it. And, but anyhow, this week, day before yesterday now, 2 ladies came in and bought a Gretsch guitar, a pretty nice one, and they said, we listen to that show religiously every day, every time it's on, and said, how do you remember all that stuff? And I said, well, I've had an interesting life, you know, I saw a lot of things. I said, I always had a good remembrance of things that I've done, and some stuff I probably invented, you know. I was telling them about the dip dog nuggets, how I went to dip dog and went up on him, and I invented them, really. And I had, you know how you are when you got a chain, you're going to pull, you got a 20-foot chain, you need the 2-foot chain. Mm-hmm. You look at one bumper, the other one, all that chain, you just keep wrapping. So I invented a little 6-inch chain with 2 big hooks on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just pull them 2 chains together from bumper to bumper, and hook it there and there, and just lay that other, let it drag, whatever it wants to do.
Yeah.
And you get a 2-foot chain, 3-foot chain, 4-foot chain. And finally, they put it on the market. You can get them now. But I come
Did you get a patent on that?
No, I didn't get a patent on
You need to get a patent on that thing.
You reckon you can get one from me?
I can't get nothing.
I don't know.
I do have some good lawyers I'm working with, though.
Okay,
so.
tell we need that.
There's a I don't know if he's a patent lawyer or not. He's into a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But, yeah.
You know, I asked Luke at one time, talking about remembering. I remember stuff that people showed me how to do, and I remember stories and things that I did or saw people do. And if I was going to sing a song, I had to read the words almost. I just never did. I can hear the tune just like that flat, but they'd want me to sing on 1 or 2 of them, and I'd have to memorize the words to it. But Luke could memorize every song and every tune you ever heard.
Wasn't a song he couldn't play, I don't reckon.
Wasn't a song? We go in there and say, can you sing this? And Well, y'all just do your little others here, because he won't do it all the way through, you know. Because two, three people, here's a verse of this, here's a verse, chorus of this. And I remember we was playing for some overseas people. Jim Clayton Holmes, at some of his overseas stockholders. And me and Ray Rose was hooking up. He was hooking his bass up, and I just standing there tuning. And this guy said, "Can you play someone that was a big old long name song?" And Ray looked at me and said, "I can't even pronounce it. Can you?" I said, "I sure don't know it." Lucas said, "Okay." No. He played it to that guy. He said, "You're the person I saw can do it that way," and walked off.
I've always been amazed.
You know, it's sort of
remembers.
what your mind runs on track, you know.
Well, that's amazing to me that people remember so many different songs. I'll tell you another little video you might want to pull up sometime is I love Ronnie Millsap, his voice and singing style. But there's an old song, I can't think of it right now, but Zach Top, they're backstage fixing to do a show, and the piano player just goes over to the piano and they start playing this song, and Zach nails this song, and it's not part of their show or nothing, but I was sitting there thinking, how do you remember the words to 3 or 4 verses and the chorus
Hundreds
to so many of songs? I mean, that's amazing to me.
It's amazing how Luke could do it. He said, "I was just born that way." He said, "When I first started playing music, any song I heard one time, I could sing it." What's the mind, Dave?
Well, you know, music helps you memorize stuff. You know, they
Right now,
kids to sing stuff like ABCs and all that. Helps you remember it.
see, Luke really leaned on his music and his singing and stuff like that, and sessions. And see, I didn't even start out playing to be a musician. I just wanted to get a crowd.
Sure.
I just wanted to do Yankee Doodle or whatever it took to get a few people standing around. And wound up making my living playing music to get myself in business. I wanted to get the business to bring music, to bring it in. I had to play music to get in business. But Luke, see, he was just born to play music.
Yeah.
And he wasn't good in business. He didn't even...
He didn't care
had no
nothing about
sense
it.
of humor in business or no knowledge. He went down there one place and built with somebody else had another business.
Right.
And he built him a music room and was going to pay $400 a month rent now for it. For his, but he charged like $50 lesson. I said, "Luke, why would you do that when you come to Sodaville and get a room for $0? Because your asset to the business, and then I'll give you a percentage on all." I said, "You're $400 good before you even
Before you
open
start.
the door." And he couldn't see that. He said, "No, this thing here's mine." I said, "That's yours too. That's costing you, this is free." He couldn't understand. He said, "No, I painted that way I wanted it, and it's mine." He lasted 1 month. But he probably still owed him for that. Because he couldn't get enough pay for it, you know he did. But that's all livelihood he had, but he couldn't see that. I said, "Look here, you done made $400.
Right.
I don't see why I made it at." I said, "You didn't pay it out."
Right.
See, a dollar earned is a dollar saved is a dollar earned.
Yeah.
You belong on Doge.
You're good.
I always thought pennies and nickels. See, my theory was I don't want $1, I want 21 nickels.
Well, let's get political here. What about the pennies going away? They're not going to make any more pennies, probably.
It costs a lot more to make them.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for my Doge check.
Well, you might get one.
That's what
They say they're going to take 20.
If they save that much, everybody's going to get them a check from the Doge.
Well, that's just where they're at right now. 20% of where they're at right now, they think would.
They're uncovering so much stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
What
my
are they going to do
God.
instead of pennies, just nickels?
I don't know. I think they'll still take them, but they're going to stop printing them. They said it's costing 3 cents to make a
1
penny.
cent. Yeah.
Well, that's Ken Walker knew that. That's not
As
the
many
business.
taxes as they charge, they get enough to make it. Then some, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they just tell you the little bitty part.
Yeah.
If they want you to buy something, they don't show you the cake. They just show you a little bit of ice on it.
So you're saying it's a scheme?
It's a scheme. Look here, if that penny
Good to
costs
know.
3 cents to make it, look how many times it rolls in taxes over and over and over.
Yeah.
It's like a speed off of a car. I mean,
Sounds like us. We're
it's
taxed on
it's Ron's
everything.
racetrack. How many laps does it make? 1 lap would be much, see, but you make.
No.
Well, they got to get it straightened out to where they're just against somebody just because of their party affiliation. I mean, they got to work together on this stuff. It's so partial.
They ain't going to have a choice.
Well,
watch and see.
you know, I'm liking winning on my side.
That's
but I still get along with a lot of my friends that don't agree with it. I mean, I can get along with anybody.
Well,
But I'm going to tell you something. You got to work together on this stuff for the people.
it's the first time since before President Obama that there are more Republicans in the electorate than there are Democrats.
I saw that.
First time ever.
Did you see this morning on the news that Fort Knox, they're fixing to audit Fort Knox to see if all them gold bricks is in there?
I don't blame them.
They need to.
Did you see it?
I didn't see it, no, but they need to do
They
that.
showed all them big bricks inside of Fort Knox.
Yeah.
And they said, I believe that guy from Kentucky, Ron Paul.
Rand
I
Paul.
think he's over there. He was talking about it. He said,
Good.
I've been trying to get them to do this for 10 years, and we can't get it done, but we're fixing to do it now.
Yeah.
And they say, we want to make sure that gold is in there.
I don't know why anybody in the whole world is aggravated that we're not spending $50 million to send condoms to Gaza anymore. You know, I don't understand that, but
Well,
the
they
Democrats
corrected
think
that.
that's a
It's not
great
Gaza.
idea.
It was somewhere in Bangladesh.
Was it
something like that.
Bangladesh?
I'm like- Or somewhere in Mongolia.
I thought it was
or something.
Gaza because they showed them
They
using them
originally
to
said that.
make bombs with. They would fill them with helium and tie fire bombs to them, and then they would, as they got high enough, they're so thin they would explode, and then they'd drop the firebomb on Israel.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's we sent $50 million worth of them over there.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's just one thing out of trillions.
$2 billion of it that went to Tracy. What's her name? Tracy Abrams. That one down there in Georgia.
Oh,
They found it this morning or last night. I saw that, and I'm
What do you
thinking,
find? Rat holes everywhere.
oh my goodness. That's why there's. That's what they're saying is. Mike Huckabee said last night. That's what he was talking about. He said that's what happens. He says when you turn the lights on in somewhere, what's the first things that start scattering is rats and roaches.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's kind of why you're getting all these screaming, hollering, because, and I don't care if the Republicans or who they are guilty as well. Man,
Yeah.
I say get rid of them or put them in prison or whatever needs to happen to them. Whatever it is.
I think we need to quit thinking about Democrat and Republican and start talking about somebody can do the job.
That's it.
right.
Well, that's it. Well, it's always been that way, but here it's worse than it's ever been now.
Well, Elon Musk was Democrat.
Yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard was Democrat.
Robert Kennedy.
RFK Jr. was Democrat. I mean, Trump don't care what you are, red, white, blue, green, black, Democrat, Republican, Martian. He don't care as long as you can do the
Secretary
job.
of Treasury the other night, they was interviewing him.
Yeah.
He's an openly gay man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's got that Rick Cannell, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he's, I mean,
And
he's
he
got
said-
a very
he said-
really diverse cabinet.
Said he was gay by coincidence, not by necessity. In other words, he didn't get the job because diversity. He got the job because he's the best man for the job.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's the way it ought to be.
A lot of people can do a good job that I probably don't want to agree with, but if they can do the job.
Well, there's, you might not hire them for one thing, but if they can count dollars and then, count dollars and cents and be good with money, then you hire them to do that.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Marty, we was back on motorcycles a while ago. You're a motorcycle rider. Why don't you interview him on motorcycle? See what?
All right. What CC do you like, man?
Well, the last one I had was a 2015 Road Glide Special.
Oh.
What CC is
I
that?
think that's a 1700.
Mm-hmm.
That's way too big.
Heavy. Heavy.
That's
And
What's the closest you ever come to having a wreck, or did you ever have a wreck?
I ain't never had any bad. Well, I'm lying. I didn't have any bad wrecks, but one time I got a new tire on a FZ8 I had. And I was coming out of Tommy's Motorsports in Clinton, and it was the first time I'd ever put a new rear tire on a bike. I didn't realize they're covered in wax,
Mhm.
when you first get that new tire. So I was coming up out of there. You know how at the back you gotta go up that hill. Well, I was going up that hill. I hit the throttle and it was like I hit ice. It shot right out from under me, and just tore my pants, get my knee up, and the guy come around. You all right? I'm like, yeah. It hurt my pride.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, embarrassing. So embarrassing.
I really know how to ride this thing, I swear.
Right. I was just excited to get it back. I had dropped it off there, but had a new tire. But yeah, that's the only time I'd ever had any wrecks or anything.
I did that in Oak Ridge. It ain't been that long ago. Maybe it was this summer. I was turned in there by Eddie here, and the right behind it, you can turn right, or it kind of veers to the left. You go up by Big Ed's, right? Yeah. And so I was coming around through there, and you have the right of way, But there was a car that was coming the other way, and I didn't think he was going to stop, so I was going to slow down and just let him go ahead because he didn't see me. I could tell. And he did. He went, and I was going slow, but I had my handbrake on, and I hit those gravels. Same thing. Well, I didn't fall over, but you know how you get on one foot, it's leaning, and you're hopping? Yeah. I did that till I got stopped, and then I went like, fell over.
Once they get so far,
And then I'm sitting there you're picking it up like, oh.
Heavy.
Yeah, they're heavy. Yeah.
Very heavy.
Yeah. I did tump over here recently, but nothing bad.
You know, we had a big crowd at Y-Wing the other night.
Yes.
Everybody should have been. We're getting a lot of new people.
That's good.
Brand new people, and I wrote a little comedy sketch for my boy at St. We got a fella working. He's just a little bitty fella.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's 15, 16-year-old. He's 35, I believe.
Is that right?
And he's little. I said, "Is people ever call you little Jimmy Dickens?" He said, "Yeah." And I had him to get out there and dance with his wife. And while he was out there dancing, she just picked him up in her arm. And one of the waitresses run up with a baby bottle and put Coke in it. He took his bottle and stuck it in her mouth, and she took it. They danced. They had the biggest time. And then he come up on the stage and sung one of them Jimmy Dickens songs, but he handed me that bottle. I said, "That ain't milk." And he sung "Made the Bird of Paradise."
Fly up your nose.
Is he good on it?
He's really good.
He did good on that job?
Oh, he's a good singer, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's really good. Of course, we don't tell everybody we're there the second Monday of every month throughout the year. So, what's it going to be next month?
It'll be March the 8th. Hang on a second, I'll tell you real quick. It's not the
next month.
6th.
A lot of people want to know the dates. We do give
It'll be the 19, 11. I believe it's the 11th.
11th?
Yeah. So, Grayling's mom and dad's going to come out. I told them, asked me about it. It's be the 10th.
10th?
March 10th.
March 10th. Okay. But we talk about shows. We got them now. We got a lot of people coming in, guests, and there's just a crowd of people. Done happy birthdays. We had the lady that runs the antique shop and all over in Powell. She's going to come over and be on the show with us. And in May, we got to do a big thing where we have a big car show and antique day, and we got to go over and do an outside thing for her.
I did it this fall with Vanette. I just went blank on her name. Yeah, they got a good shop out there.
Oh, we got a nice shop.
They had some really nice cars. That's the one I was out there. I was telling you about. Had that little old 49 Ford truck that I was looking at. He had a 65 Mustang.
Yeah.
There's some nice ones.
You said 49 Ford. I got to think about when I was real young. One of my first cars was a 49 Ford two-door.
Oh, yeah.
Car.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a cute little thing. And I was so proud of it. I went to pick this girl up. She lived out in the country. And you had back down the driveway. You go up in there and you had back all the way out. And you couldn't see it dark. And what I was doing, I opened the door so I could look out a little bit. And I went back through there and caught that door on the root, and it drove it plumb up in a firewall. It like this much shutting.
Oh, nice.
I had to hold it all the way home.
Oh, Lord.
I had to hold that thing all the way home. And I told her, I said, I just have to go home and try to do something else. And so I lost my date. And so then,
Oops.
I went over to his Peppo, or I asked my brother-in-law, his Peppo. He married my sister. I walked in, he says, "Good night. What are you going to do about that?" And I said, "We got to throw it back under the shut." So he said, "No." I said, "Now what you got to do?" I told him, because I always had ideas just like that. Get a big log chain and tie it back into a tree.
Yeah.
And take another chain and put it to that door, drop 3 up there. So the car won't scoot, because it'd pull the car backwards. And just pull it to come up line. I said, when you get it just right, pull it just one leg further or two, and then it's shut. And he did that, and that thing shut, and that's like... I had that. I'll tell you something else we did funny. A guy was talking about this week, how we did it. Mayor Mitten, where he ran into a bank or another car or something. He knocked the whole front end in. The whole front end of the little truck, he couldn't even open his door. Then it was bowed out, you know how they bow way out. He had to get out on the other side. He couldn't even get out till they got the door open. He said, well, I'll just chunk it. And I said, no, I'll fix it for you. And I called this old boy that I know, and he said, we're going to take all that. I said, no, we're going to take that off. We won't take anything off. I said, it went in with one lick, we're going to pull it out with one lick. He said, how you going to do it? I said, put a chain that back end so it can't go nowhere and get one around the whole front end. Everything's got metal. And just pull it, I say, quit. Then big chain power, boy, you can pull weight. He pulled it up, the door started shutting. I said, go just a little further. Because, you know, you sprang back. And he pulled grill, front fender, and everything out at one dose. He did crack the plastic grill a little bit. And so they couldn't get it. Said, and then W.N. Arnold was a mechanic. I said, boy, how'd you get that out? And we just pulled it out. He said, you didn't take it off? And I said, no, we didn't take nothing off. It went in one lick, we took it out of one lick. But I learned you could do a lot of that. Ratty had a wreck over on the highway, and they pulled his car down at the house as a wrecker. It sounds like a big story, but it is true. It probably wouldn't happen again, ever. He come down there, and his wheel was bent down. It wasn't plumb under the car, but it was laying down. He couldn't drive it. And I said, I'll fix it for you. Hooked it to a tree, and one got under it. Pulled it, tore it back up. While I looked at it, it looked straight. I said, now, Rowdy, I know that thing's out of line. You must take it here, lined up. He drove it about 3 months. I said, you get it lined up? He said, no, that's where it's been.
Wearing tires good.
Wearing tires, nothing. I guess I just hit it, luckily. You know, I pulled and pulled. After I thought I had it, I pulled just a little more. Then it went right back. Evidently, it went in. We was building a Studebaker truck one time, me and Junior Shelton. And he had one of them big old heavy air compressed tar changers. Mm-hmm. And then we had old model trucks. See, the rims wasn't tough enough to take it. Wow. He bent all 4 rims. It was going like that. We tried to drive it. And I said, shoot, I'll fix that. Take it in there and take them tires back off and lay it on the floor and give me a sledgehammer. I'll beat them out straight. I beat one, he looked at it and said, if you can do 3 more like it, you got it. And I beat every one of them down with a sledgehammer. Put them on there and it run to them. I felt it is.
See, this portion of the show's been brought to you by David's Alignment.
There you go.
And,
about their side of the rail.
Yeah, and frame service.
And frame service.
And fenders.
Yeah. Speaking of old cars, Doug, my brother Doug's listening this morning. We talk about
Doug.
cars. Now he can. He's a master at doing stuff like that.
He is, but
he can find stuff and fix stuff that shops can't fix.
Doug can do stuff I just can't believe.
I know it. Doug, if you're listening, we're bragging on you because that's he's listening. So
he put me grill. I mean, he went my tractor never had been inside it. The 4-wheel drive quit running. He went and called somebody that knowed all about him. Went and got parts and put it in there, and they looked at it and analyzed it and said it was put together wrong from the factory.
Yeah.
And he straightened it all. He went like that man told him that it was specialized on it.
Oh, yeah.
He got the book on it, put it back. It's perfect as you get a tractor. It's a brand new tractor. It's had about 300 hours on it.
Yeah.
And it tore up. But he put it, he could take a radio out and put it in.
Better than anybody ever saw. He's great at it.
Hey, Ron, he could take a radio out and put it in and get back in on the same song.
Really? I used to have the worst time in the world with radios, and I tell you, because when I was young, you want to put the new ones in. I had the worst time in the world doing that. Taking consoles out. By the time I got done, bolts left over, things not fitting, and cracks here and there. I was awful with it.
A $500 car one time. It's probably worth $500. And I went and put over $1,000 Alpine stereo.
And a $500 car.
At Lindsay Ward in Knoxville. But Doug's actually taking me. We're going to the Paramount Theater up there where the Fun and Farm Show. What is it called? The Farm Show.
Yeah.
That they're doing up there, and seeing Dale McCurry here in April. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. But
we're going to be a lot of stars right now, ain't they?
Yeah.
Are they picking as much as it did used to, some of them?
Dale McCurry's, he's still playing it. They call it the Traveling McCurrys now. His boys, Ronnie and
How many shows you doing here, I reckon?
I don't know. But he's still good. You know, Dale McCurry's great. I love Dale McCurry. He does a great
he's
show.
one of the best bluegrass people on the market.
Great guy.
Probably the best,
His
right?
G-run is as good as
If
anybody's.
you want real good bluegrass,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
probably the best.
And his boys Ronnie and Rob are really good too. And he's got a great band as always. But I'm looking forward to that. We're going up there in April, and so it'll be good. I've only been there one time. I told him last time I was there, and the only time I've ever been to the Paramount Theater. It's right there in Bristol.
Yeah,
up there on
I played
State Street.
Mhm.
I know.
Played that.
Well, that only time I was ever there was in 1996. I was up there with my father-in-law, Doyle. We went up there to see Ricky Skaggs and Ralph Stanley, and lo and behold, Kenny Baker come out, and Tennessee Ernie Ford's son
Kenny
come
Baker.
out, and then Josh Graves come out. They call them the Bristol Trio, All-Star Trio, and they come out. But Ricky and his band was great, and then we got to meet and talk with Ralph and stuff. Great show then, but I'm looking forward to going back up there. They do some shows.
And you know, they had a big thing there one year. I don't know what year it was. It's been before COVID, not too far before that. But the big business people of that town, they had a band to play and represent them. And I represent Joe Morrell. He's the one that got me in the music store business. And you have to get up and make a speech and talk to him, talk about him. And he's the one that's telling you about rode the train, and he's a wealthy guy. And he let me have step on consignment. He got me in business, in the music store business, and so they chose me because he's one of my best friends to come do his speech for him. I mean, and I had to MC and Tim White had to do. Me and him was the two MCs.
Yeah, Tim's up there a lot.
Yeah, and they played it for somebody. They backed somebody. I forgot what their people was. I got a movie of it. And so Joe Morrell, you know, I knew him he just picked me up when I was in the TV station, Marlon Buster, and I started selling instruments for him. He started giving me half a profit going on. I said, this is it, right? I got to get in the music store business. But anyhow, they sent me a speech on him. And I sent it back to him. I said, I know Joe Morrell. He said, got to put me in business. I don't need a speech. I need to make mine. We took train rides together. We did this and that. And we did a lot of things together. And I bought 2 of his Cadillacs from him. And we driving down the street, and he said, I'm getting a new Cadillac next week. This one he had was 30,000 miles. It's like new. What do you take for it? And he said, whatever Carl ought to give me. And then bought the other, and he just said, what do you get for this? And I told him, he said, sold. Can I drive it till I get a new one? And I said, yeah, you got. I mean, me and him was close, but I could, you know, I had no limit with him, what he'd let me have. But anyhow, I got up there to pick. Well, nobody much knowed me. I had some big bands in there, and Raymond, that his family, McLean, the McLean family, and he taught bluegrass and stuff at the college up there. You know, I mean, he was a real good. Raymond McLean's a great musician. So they called me up there, and he said, what do you want to do? And I said, let's do Misty to start with, and then I'll do Shuckin' Corn, lay it down on my lap, do all that trick stuff. And they didn't know Misty, you know, and he said, now I've been teaching you all, you can play anything. He said, you've graduated, you better get this song learned right quick. Mm-hmm. Of course, they had enough to go through it. It wasn't exactly what I needed, but I did it. And evidently they're saying, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And I told some jokes, you know, about stand up and all that stuff. And this man, 95-year-old married woman, 35, what did you marry for? Did you love her? Did you pretty know? She got money, know where you married for. She can drive after dark, you know. I did that. And I heard that woman, that there was some women was over it, and I started telling somebody back yesterday, I was walking out behind the stage to sit down and watch the rest of the show, and one of them went by me, and she said, they'll know who the H is the next time he walks up there. I knew right then I'd done pretty good. Of course, I did talk. They were ready for that type of music by the time I went on and a joke or two. They had life to sit there a little spit, you know, and I loosened them up. But the Paramount Theater, boy, that's a nice theater.
It is. It's in a historic theater. I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you because Dallas Wayne on Willie's Roadhouse is all the time talking about he broadcast from Bristol, the home of country music.
Mhm.
Now, what was the purpose of, why is it called the home of country music in Bristol? The founding city of the Carter fold was
Carter family.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they was one of the biggest bunch, first bunch.
Yeah. Okay.
I believe there was the first bunch, or one of the first.
Yeah.
bunch.
Well, I understand that.
Ernie Ford, he picked a lot of people up there,
yeah.
but Maybelle Carter and L.E. told me how it worked, so he just knew them. Chet played fiddle to start with, and he started playing guitar for them.
For the Carters?
Yeah.
Was Anita older than June?
Yeah. June was a baby, I think.
Yeah, I thought okay.
And anyhow, it's true. I got pictures of them picking with Chet. Chet picking with them, and Maybelle, and I can't think that man's name, her husband, he didn't even like to sing. He didn't want to sing. He had a big farm, and he wanted to work on the farm. Then he'd have to go in there and do records with them, and he'd have to go do radio shows with them.
Was Dave Macon up there?
I don't know about him. L.E.
Brother
said,
Dave Macon.
L.E. said that he would go, what was his name? Maybelle Carter, and he had Nita and June and one other, the trio, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But anyhow, they said he would be singing, and he was missing that farm so bad. L.A. said that he just sang where he's supposed to, and then he'd walk over and look out the window thinking that farm, and he'd miss the next verse, and he'd come back and get the next one with him. They said, we can't keep his mind off that farm long enough to do the record, and they said, that's how come he'd be singing on one verse, and we'd be singing on the next verse.
Yeah, I was trying to find his.
It's W something,
His name is
WT or
AP.
AP
Carter.
AP Carter.
AP, I know it's something.
AP. Yeah, there's Helen. Let's see.
Helen?
AP, Ezra, Sarah, and Mabel. And then there was Helen Carter, Anita Carter, June Carter, Jeanette Carter, Joe Carter, Dale Jett Carter, John Carter Cash. So there's quite a few of them.
See, Mr. Walker was in a, Kern furnished him a plane because he had some in stores and had to Kern bread. And Mr. Walker said, buddy, he said, we went somewhere in a plane, do a show. He said June Carter was on it. And said that plane iced over and said it come down. Mr. Carter said, I know it. Mr. Walker said, I know it come down. We could reach out the window and touch the tree limbs. He said, that's how close it got to killing us.
Yeah.
And said she was right down between our legs there praying like hard as she could. And said, that's why she was praying. Said that ice fell off that plane. And said that thing jumped, I forget how many feet up there. So it just went boom, it's pulling it so hard. And so she jumped up and said, I prayed the ice off of it, didn't I?
Yeah. I told you about the buddy of mine. In fact, tomorrow will be 2 years since he passed away, one of the dearest friends I ever had. But he was up from Hilton's, Virginia.
Yeah.
And so he went over to the Carter Fold. This was back in the 80s. Well, he went to the Carter Fold, and they taped a show. It's on a VHS tape I've got, but it was Johnny and June and Waylon and Jesse. And it's a great, it's about 2 hours long, but it's a great, but they taped it up there at Carter Fold. He went that night. And
June brought him out of it, didn't she, boy?
Oh, buddy.
Down on the bottom limb.
Yeah, but they
He got down in the basement, I think.
they were both, him and Waylon both had to get straightened up there pretty much.
Yeah, they say that she brought Waylon out of it, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but...
She went in there to find him. She's looking for Blue Eyes.
That's one of my favorite Jesse songs. I love Jessie Coulter. Yeah. I was dating my wife. I used to call her Jessie just because she, I don't know why I was calling her Jessie.
I'm not Lisa. My name is Jessie.
Yeah. I think I'm Looking for Blue Eyes is my favorite of hers. She's got some good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I always liked Jessie Coulter.
Yeah. She just had a new album come out last October.
Really?
She did. It's good. It's she still plays piano. She sings it. She does, I think, on one or two of them, Shooter's singing some with her.
You take a fellow that started hot, went all through his livelihood, and left here just as hot as he was, and he come on with Johnny Cash.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, Johnny, and
Folks from Prison Blues is hot today.
Yeah.
Get them doing it on stage, and they just love it.
There's a good interview of Waylon with him talking about that. He said, my boy Shooter think you're into grunge music. what he was talking about, he did that cover of 9 Inch Nails, Hurt.
Oh, yeah.
He does a great job on it. Johnny was not, I mean, don't hurt nobody's feelings. He's not a great singer, but his style and his song and the feeling of it.
Do you know he was with you?
Yeah.
Category.
Well, my favorite thing is he was with Billy Graham on those crusades. I love that when he got straight down. He'd go on those crusades with Billy. But, hey, the next week, before we wrap up, I was going to tell you, Freddie Smith was supposed to be with us today, and because of the weather, he's got a pretty steep incline there, so he's not going to. He's going to come next week. He's got a show he's trying to promote, something he's got coming up on March the 1st. But I'm waiting on Jimbo to text me back here. Jimbo Whaley and Biscuit are going to come out here.
Oh boy,
he's got a big show coming up at the Country Tonight Theater up in Pigeon Forge that we're helping sponsor. Madison Insurance Group, the company I work with, we're helping sponsor it. But I don't think it's sold out yet. But you ought to get tickets because what they're doing.
Who else on it, you know?
Well, I know Matt Ledbetter's going to be playing.
Oh, yeah.
Jimbo will be there. Biscuit will be there. He's got several other local artists, and he's got some more that's coming. He hadn't advertised yet.
He'll be telling us about it when they come.
Yeah, then they're going to come in there, and Biscuit's we're trying to make it where he's going to be, come over here, and if we can, we might make it that day we eat. We'll see.
Yeah,
but probably
either
either the 13th or the 20th. The show is on the March the 22nd.
We put on the big feed that day.
Yeah. Big feed, like a bunch of hogs at your trough.
The big feed, it's going to be the big freeze. I mean, the big feed.
But the blowout's coming later, right?
Yeah, the blowout will be, we'll have different kinds of beans.
I got you. Let's do that one outside.
Yeah.
It's going to live up to its name.
There you go.
Yeah, but they are. It's a great thing. I was going to tell you what he's doing up there. This will be the 20th anniversary he's done. It's called Jimbo Whaley and Friends. And he'll tell us more when he comes out here. But what they're doing is every year they find some type of organization or something where they can donate the proceeds to. So this year it's going to
WYSH.
WYSH. It's actually going to the folks from the hurricane relief for there in Cott County, Newport.
Well, that's more needed.
So I don't know. We could use it.
I could use it.
But yeah, I told him the other day because when we had him out here about 3 or 4 years ago, and Ron wasn't here that day, and so he's looking forward. I don't know if he met you before or not, but I told him, you know, Merle and WYSH and Praise 96 and. Jimbo does a great job, but he raises money each year to help those people. And the tickets are like $20 in advance, $25 at the door. But he'll be telling us about that in the lineup. But it's always a great show.
Oh, yeah.
And
Biscuit, the best you hear.
Well, Biscuit is hard to beat on the banjo.
He's the best. He's won it, what, 9 times? Or
I don't know.
5
It's a lot. And then Matt just won, I think, did he win Dobro Player? He was nominated. I think he may have won.
Yeah, his daddy won 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times. And so
he started out this. That's exciting.
Yeah, Matt's a good young man.
He said he played a little something at church or something. Said he was the first stage show I ever played.
Yeah. Matt's a really good picker as well.
Oh, he's good.
He's playing a lot with, he's played with the Isaacs, Dylan Bradley. He's playing with everybody. He's playing a lot.
He's one of the best.
Yeah, that's the fun thing about listening to Mike Kelly here on Sunday morning. A lot of those songs I'll hear in the background, some of these singers, and I'm thinking, I hear that dobro, and that's got to be Phil or Matt, because if the certain artist I'll hear.
We extended his program, Mike's now, going back to 8 to noon instead of 8 till 11.
Good.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'll listen to him.
It's a good show. Very loyal following. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Mike's a good guy. We got one of the other guests we'll have here in a few weeks. He's got a big announcement coming up. I don't want to spill the beans on it, but the former sheriff, in fact, we'll see him here in just a few minutes, but the former sheriff of Knox County has got a big announcement coming up here in the next couple of weeks that we'll let him do that. But he's going to be with us. Come out here, maybe we can interview him and talk about some law enforcement and have some fun with him. He's a big country music. He's the one that took me over there last year and bought me tickets to go see Hank Jr.
Okay.
We was on the front row right there by the stage, and he's a neat guy and loves David to death. He loves David and Howard. He loves to they all know a lot of people I don't know. And we got some great stories, don't we? Can't do them on the radio, but there's some great stories.
We're sure we can. We just changed the names to protect the innocent.
He don't protect names.
Hey, Ron, you don't have an adult station.
No, we don't. After hours.
This is an adult show.
Yeah, kind of.
He's funny. I tell you what, he was a good officer, good sheriff. I worked for him. He was a good sheriff. He was good to me.
Well, he comes to the hospital. I was in the hospital again, him, and he just kept on staying. I was sitting there and cheering down him stories, and he won't hear some more.
I told him, I said, we're wearing David out. He thinks the world of it. He loves hearing stories, telling stories, but he is what he is. And
I thought it was real good the day of you, and I hadn't told him. I forgot well, I should have wrote it down, but I said, sure, forget a kick out of this.
Somebody told me the other day how you can tell you're getting older, and I'm doing this now. It says, I probably said this before, but you go on and say it anyway. He said, that's how you know you're getting older. I said, I don't have nothing to do with getting older. I told the story, and I have told this before. My daddy used to tell me, he said, you tell him same old stories so much, you're starting to believe them, ain't you?
I said, yeah. I said, yeah. That's the way it works.
Believe him, I done him.
That's right. That's right. But,
we was talking about out church, there's wanting a little history of the church. See, my daddy, Howell Rock and stuff our church out there. I was born in 42, so they opened it at 47, 4, 5, 6, a 5-year-old when they had their first services. And they took them blocks, and they had a machine. They bought theirs already made. Daddy got him a mow. He built one for Siderville. 48, he opened it up. 47, he got the church open over, and that's when he bought his mold, to mold his blocks. And I remember when he had it, all that marble dust on 35 Chevrolet truck. And they just asked me how it worked, and I said, tell me a little bit about the church. And I said, well, it was a block building. They had about 6 lights and porcelain things, down through there. They had a little 15-inch juice box over, put a hammer down, cut everything off. Everything in church wasn't an inner lights and one outside light. They had no, the bathrooms were homemade out of wood at that time. They built block ones. And the floor didn't have nothing on it, just concrete. And the block didn't have nothing, they were just concrete, no paint. And they did have that Seal-Tex type stuff on the ceiling. And I remember some guy gave us, they'd go in and put sawdust and linseed oil down, keep that dust down. Maybe it's them stomping, them preachers stomping like it. It'd give you laryngitis if you wasn't careful, So somebody gave us a gallon or 2 or 3 gallons of orange paint. And once you back in, you used what you had. You didn't buy nothing. And they painted that whole floor orange. That's the color of that right
A big orange.
And look here, to show you that and prove that to you, then we put down that asphalt tile later. And when we did, I got a piece of that tile, and when you turned it over, there's that orange paint on the bottom of it. When they started turning it down, Donald got me a piece of that tile. And I was telling him about it. I said, now, does that look like orange paint? Yeah. I said, that pulled it up. But listen, they didn't tell us. See, I worked putting down a lot of that tile and clubhouse and stuff in 59, 60, up to 63. I went playing music. But that square tile, the asbestos tile, is what it is, I guess. What you got to do is put that black stuff down today and lay your tile tomorrow. See, it don't get dry, but it's hard enough. And then you walk on it right then, and then you walk on it. But see, they put that stuff down, they put that tile down on it, and it come up through the cracks. Well, then they'd wash it, and they'd get some gas, where gas goes down and make it come up worse, or something, wipe it off it. Oh, it was a mess the whole time we had that tar come up. And then you step on that tar and you stick to the floor, It was a mess the whole time we had it, just about. They just keep wiping and wiping. I guess it's got all the glue up there. But I was telling them about that, and then we went on into, see, in the 50s, Ron wouldn't remember it, but right after the war, everybody got scared of war. And it was going to be that Russia was going to attack us. And we got into it with Korea, we was having the Korean War. And so they started selling all kinds of big old, they call them snout, they got finally called them storm shelters, but they were fallout shelters. And up and down Clinton Highway, them big metal things was made, and they're sitting everywhere. Every 4 or 5 businesses had about 5 of them out there. You stop by it, and they come dig a big hole and put you in there, and you had to get a pipe to breathe. We're going to get hit with war, and people really believed in it. I remember when they first went out, I mean, Mom and Daddy talked about it. Well, we probably need one of them fallout shelters. Not knowing if the bomb hit it, key.
Yeah, ain't gonna matter.
But anyhow, then when the war came down, and when it did, they started selling for storm shelters. And see, because some of it was good for that. If you had a storm, you get down in it and survive better on that. But then, during that, this is kind of funny. Like this one, during the bomb shelter type, they said, well, and storm shelter too, they said, what we need in this church out there where I went, what we need is some lamps, kerosene lamps. If the lights goes out, they're going to knock the fire out the first thing. So we went one Sunday morning, me and the preacher and that deacon, and took a 4x8 sheet of plywood and cut little squares of plywood out and put it on them metal arms. All the way down the church is still, I think we might have painted inside with them. And we put them things all down the wall, about 4 sections of lamps down, 4 up here and 2 up here. We thought we'd really done something. This is funny like it. This is real funny. We put all them new lamps up. We didn't put no kerosene in them. We just put the lamps up, and here come a preacher up there, one of them hide busters, they call him. Yeah. Bless God, I see you got your lamps up. You ain't got no oil in your vessels. It's such a bad sermon on no oil in your vessels.
Good message.
Here I'm sitting. I thought we'd just done such a good job, and I want a little pat on the back. And I just said, my tail feather just wilted right there. I didn't get no thank you for this. What we missed, you didn't say nothing we'd done, you know. It's so funny that.
I've been humbled like that before. Yeah,
you got your feathers.
I have. You know, my H in the book that I'm writing is The Dash of Life, and I'm gonna get you. No, this is no joke. Now I'm gonna get you sometime here soon. I want you to write the foreword. You know, when your books, just something simple, but The Dash of Life, and it's discipline, accountability, structure. But that last one, humility, man, that's gonna be a big chapter. It's kind of a big chapter, being humbled.
Being humbled. Doing that days you have to do it is pretty big.
Yeah, humility is it's a tough one. A lot of us don't like to admit, but it's a lost trait.
Doing that does for he does unto you, ain't
it? Yeah.
You know, I better tell them a little bit about Friday night show. We got Doug Green, Michael Green, or whatever you want to call it, Doug Green, Michael Green, or he's Green. And he's got a big show Friday night over at Sauterville. It's called Karaoke Night. They have a good turnout. Looks to me like every time I see their little cars, they go in there and sing. If you want to come over and sing, just call Doug or go over and be there. Just go over. And then he has a big show. I don't know what's going to be this Saturday night or not. I forgot to look on the marquee, but his show's on Saturday night. Just look on the sign as you go by. And it'll tell you who's going to be there. I may go down there and listen to him this Saturday night. This next one, because that our little boy that sings over there, he's going to be on it too. I don't know who all going to be on it, but that's over at Sauterville Music Barn now. That's not the store. Anthony runs the store. But Doug runs the barn, and if you want to have a party, call him, because he... any night they're not having a show, it's open for parties and things. And they have church on Sunday. Of course, they've been doing that for about 15 years. But you got good sound systems and all that stuff in there. Now, if you need a sound system for a big show, I don't care how big it is, 10,000 people, just call him. He put it up. First time I heard him put one up in Dalton, Georgia, and it was way up in the thousands. I don't know, it was 10. It might have been 10. It's a huge place. It's a big place, let's put it that way. But he's got it any size. He does it for Clinton Fire for us over here. It was good last year, but just give him a call, and he'll be happy to come out and do your sound system, little or big. He does sound systems, and he does music there, and he's got several bands that work for him too. So Doug Green, Mike Green, whatever you want, just give him a call, and he'll come over and fix you up. And Anthony, come over and check out Sodomville music. If you ain't saw it lately, you need to come by and look at it.
Absolutely.
It's surprising what's in there now. But anyway, I guess we're about through it, Bonnie.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
Next
got
week.
Dustin with us today. We didn't introduce him.
When we get done, I'm gonna go ride his motorcycle.
Yeah. Be careful, it's a little chilly.
Yeah.
Brady will be here next
Dustin's my
week.
nephew. He's a lot of people knows Max Moneymaker from down at the auto parts place in Oak Ridge. This is his son. And of course, Steve's gonna come over one day. I'm his uncle, and his
My
uncle.
uncle, yeah. My dad's brother.
It's gonna be the uncle show.
That
I let
works.
him cut my hair, but there's not enough of it.
Okay, we appreciate everybody
Yeah,
listening.
Barney, yeah.
Appreciate everybody listening, and want you all to know how much we love you and appreciate you liking us on this show. Till we get to see you next week. May the good Lord bless you and good day.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12. Or listen live online at WYSHradio.com.